Okay, I'm going to look around the country a little bit and see how the flatbed market is holding up. This is spring, March of 2025. I will be delivering in Madras, I think is how you say it, Oregon, tomorrow morning. And I don't have anything booked, so I'll be looking to get something booked out of there. And I already have this typed in here real briefly before I look. I kind of like to look at the market update that DAT puts out. You can see where I'm at over in Oregon. It's not a fantastic market. This whole area is pretty warm, meaning there's a lot of loads per truck. In this little section, there's over 100 loads per truck, very tight capacity. So we're going to look here. This one looks pretty good. If we sort by rate, we can sort by rate per mile, all kinds of things. So if we look over here, this load's going to Virginia. I've already looked at this one though, and it has a stop off in New York. I'm not sure by the time you deadhead the 146 or down to 212, then once you go up to New York and add more miles, plus you've probably got $250 worth of tolls through between Illinois and all the way up to New York and then back down. So really we can only expect to see about, I don't know, let's say we see 61, 50. We're just barely over 2. So that's a pretty good load. It's nice and long, good revenue. I'd be interested in that, except for the tolls. And it looks like there's some other loads that are pretty interesting as well. So what am I going to book here? One thing I like about Truck Stop is they give you the state, so you can just kind of go down here and just briefly look over the state. Like, I'm pretty sure I don't want to go to Connecticut because I have to file a special report, which I haven't filed yet, and I don't really care because I don't go there. Florida, I'd be interested in Florida if the rate was good. Not that good. Again, Florida. Now, I already emailed them about this one. I'm very interested in this load. This is a very interesting load. I would love it. I'm wondering if there's multiple stops or what's going on here. So I'm hoping to get that one. That's the one I hope to get. So let's assume that I get that one. But before we do that, let's look at, I've got in here $1,000, so we're only picking up loads with a rate of $1,000. One thing I like to do, if we're looking at doing some short hauls, we can put in a smaller deadhead here. Holy smokes. No, because we're in the middle of nowhere, so we can't really put in a smaller deadhead. I'm delivering kind of in the middle of nowhere. Okay, so let's sort by rate per mile, RPM. And we'll pick up some shorter hauls that are pretty high revenue, or sorry, pretty high rate. Like this one here up to Wenatchee, $4.15 a mile after deadhead. We're down to $3.20 a mile. If you're wondering how I get this column, I have this load board extension called Load Hunter, and that integrates some different data. Like if we click on this load here, we get this little flag up here. When it pops up, it gives us the total, the trip, and the deadhead. And that calculates typically a better deadhead. See, it says 125. Truck Stop says 892. So I've noticed that Truck Stop doesn't calculate the deadhead very well. I don't know if they use straight line miles or what. It depends on the week. Sometimes they do really well, sometimes they don't. But also we get this little box down here that gives us the loaded and then the deadhead, the rate, our rate. Once we get done with our deadhead, we could take our deadhead out. That gives us the rate. Put our deadhead back in. We could let's say we want to negotiate that to $13.50. Then where are we sitting? Let's see if we want to negotiate that to $14. Where are we sitting at? It's kind of just a little handy tool. What was it at? $1,300. Just a handy tool to see where we can get at before we call the broker and kind of have to do math in our head. So also it pulls over the RTS credit score for this brokerage, which is super handy. You don't have to go look it up elsewhere. every time you're looking at a load, you just know right away, are they good to go? So that's a load that we might be interested in. Let's see. Load up to Spokane. Not seeing a whole lot of... Now this is Sunday night, so there's going to be a lot more loads that pop up Monday morning. So we're not really looking at the full amount of loads that are available. Also, like this one, for example, it was posted 9+ hours ago. This one was posted 4 hours ago, 999. So a lot of these loads that are posted 9+ hours ago, they might have been moved already on Friday, and they just didn't get taken down. So that's always a concern. Ponderay, Idaho. That could be an interesting load if it's still available. One pick, one drop. I know a broker who has freight up at Old Town, Idaho, which isn't far from there, so that's why I was thinking that could be a good load. 282. Let's say, for example, just for the sake of this video, let's say we take that load, 1851, and our total miles is 656. I have my spreadsheet here, 1851. This is what I've done so far. So this is my month. This was started on the 5th. And so this is what I've done so far. This many miles. That's so if I put in, what was it, 656. So that would take me, I was at 212 when I get to Madras, Oregon. Now that puts me at 216. Kind of cool because you can see how it affects you right now. Let's see here. Let's just put in, where are we going here? Let's use this one over here so I don't mess up because I'll be looking for that one tomorrow. Now these are the loads available out of Ponderay, Idaho. Great Falls, Montana pays pretty well, but there's a reason for that. There's no freight over there. All Montana. So let's look to go long. See what we can find going long. Climax. That's a nice short deadhead. Going all the way across the country for $1.72. That's not all that good, is it? Let's take it anyway, just for the sake of this video, see where we'd be at. All right, the all-in miles is 26.09. 2609. 26. Oops, that's not 26. Okay, and what was the rate? 40 something. 44. 44.25. 44.25. That brings us down to 207. So that was that brought our average down. But out of Climax, where's our? Here we are. Where is it at? Interesting. I suspect that 17,000 is a lie. Here's an interesting one. Right back to Washington, Fort Lewis, Washington for 233, 231 after deadhead. Hazmat, we don't haul hazmat around here, so no, thank you. And if you noticed, they were no good, so they're not going to pay their bills. That brokerage's credit score, at least with RTS, is not very good. So if they're not paying RTS, and there's a reason that RTS rates them that way, we probably don't want to work for them. So here's one right back to Spokane, basically an exact, return. Let's see what's going on here. Requires 250 cargo. I got that. Has four total drop. Okay, all over the freaking place. we could think about bidding that out. Once we do the math on the mileage, we're probably going to need more than 6250. But for the purpose of this video, we're not going to go into that detail. We're just going to look for one pick, one drops. Salt Lake, that should pay way better. Why doesn't it? Washington. Okay, let's sort by rate per mile. Let's put in a rate here of $1,000. We don't want to run for less than 1,000. And we're not going to sort. We're going to sort this by a little bit smaller deadhead, because when we have a small deadhead, it makes our rate pretty good. Here's one. North Dakota to North Dakota, or North Carolina, North Carolina. Let's see, who are they? Best Logistics. I don't know if I know them. Jake Break Logistics. We work for them all the time. Let's see here. West Tarp. That'd be interesting. Maryland. I don't love Maryland, but here's an Ohio. This one would be good. 3 drops. Nope. Let's do something crazy and take something to Colorado. That's actually a pretty good rate. That's a rate to go all the way across the country. It's only going halfway. What do we got here? Stops in. Holy crap. Well, we can't do that. That ain't going to work out. Okay, this video is going a little longer than I intended, but you get the idea. The other thing, let's give up the spreadsheet. That's kind of awesome, because we can see how much that drops our rate overall for the month. But let's just search around. I am going to have a truck in Memphis, unless a load I booked already went through. No, what am I doing here? Tennessee. Let's see what we got for some short hauls. $5 a mile. That's incredible. What's going on here? No tarp. That's interesting. Very short load. 145 miles. That kind of makes sense, because that's kind of my rule. If it's not over $1,000, I don't care how far the mileage is. I need $1,000 a day, and even if it's a 20-mile drive, it's probably going to take me all day to load it, tarp it, unload it, untarp. And so I think that's what they're doing here. They're like, look, we're not going to move it unless we put $1,000 on it. It looks crazy for the rate, but it's really not that crazy, because it takes pretty much your entire day away. So that's pretty phenomenal. We're getting some pretty good high rates down there when we go really, really short. Here's one going to Nashville. That's another nice short one. I don't know that company. They're a C. They're good to go. Giltner, we work for them a lot. Going down to Louisiana for $2.78 a mile. That ain't bad. There's some pretty good freight out of there. Really good freight, honestly. So there you have it. If you guys like this kind of content, let me know. Hit the like and subscribe.